Hi, I'm Jackie McLean and welcome back to the third and final of my mini-series on how to use Scrivener. This third video will have a look at how you can set up the Scrivener screen to look the way that you want it to when you're working on any one project. The first video looked at how I like to set my screen up, and the second video looked at the main features and how to navigate around Scrivener and make use of the various features in it. So now we'll have a look at how you can customise the screen. Last time we created a structure for our writing. We created folders that contained chapters, which are essentially a series of text files. And we added word counts and a summary of what would be in each chapter to create our fictional book. Now we're going to customise the screen to make it more useful. I like to see my work in progress in 3 panels on the screen while I'm working. So I like to have the actual text that I'm working on, and then I like to see the index cards displayed in a certain way and the table of contents so that they're outlined in one side so that I can see at a glance where I am whenever I'm working on the book. So to create that 3-pane screen, what we're going to do is go to the Windows tab at the top of the screen. So the Windows tab then gives us an option to go to Layouts, and Layouts you can choose the layout that you want. The one that I use is the 3-pane corkboard layout. So select that and the screen changes to this. So now I have the text that I'm working on, I have my index cards, and then my table of contents at the side. Now the other thing I like to do that is quite useful is to colour code my chapters. So to do that, just go to each text file at a time and right click, use the label option and pick your colour. So for instance, green, whatever colour you want to. So go ahead and add colours to each one. Say I tend to use red, amber, green for the stage that the work's at. So say this one's not been written yet, so we'll colour code it red, and the ones that are just about finished, we'll colour code them green. So I've now got my colour coding, and it colour codes the index cards as well. Now if the colour coding doesn't appear like that when you set it up, you can change how the colour code appears by going to the View tab at the top. So View, and then we have an option for Use Label Colour In, and here I've selected a number of places where I can view the colour. If I take them off, for instance, if I take off index cards, it doesn't show the colour in index cards anymore, just at the side. But I like to see them all. So back to View, Use Label Colour In, Index Cards, and it colours them back in for me. And that's quite handy later on when you're looking at the progress overall of your work in progress. So we'll have a look at that and you'll see when that comes in useful too. So you can change the way that the corkboard is set out, your index cards are set out. Quite often I use about between 10 and 12 usually chapters to a part of a book. So to see them at a glance, I'll set them 2 or 3 across. So to alter the way that you view your index cards, we're going to go to the View tab again. So we use this View tab a lot. And this time we're going to go to View, Corkboard Options, and I'm selecting the number of cards across, and I'm going to say 2 across at a time, and it'll adjust the way that I want to. And I can just drag the screen to whatever size I want to as well to display those however I want, because in reality when I'm working on a book there's going to be a paragraph or a series of bullet points within each of these index cards, so I want to be able to see them in enough detail at a glance. To actually format the text, now I think only one of these had some text in it, chapter 1, we just started putting some text in the document you're working on. You format that just as you would do any Word document, and you would use the Format tab at the top. That's quite intuitive. Your Format tab at the top lets you set how you want the font, the paragraph, the style, and so on to look. That's quite intuitive, as per you would normally expect. Now, to check the overall progress of your work, you're using the View tab again. Use this View tab quite a lot. View, and it's Outline to look at your overall work in progress. So it's the entire book I want to look at, so I'll click on Draft to see the whole thing. And in this pane, I'll see my progress with part 1 of the book, each of the chapters, and part 2 of the book, each of the chapters. Now again, when you look at this, it probably won't be set up like this. You have to tell it what elements it's going to show. So again, go to View, and then it's Outliner Options for the options that you want in your outline. And in here you've got a number of things that you can display when you're looking. So you can just try each one. One of the frustrating things with Scrivener is you can only tick or untick one option at a time, and it goes back to you have to go back in again. For instance, so outliner options. Say I want to take the title off. If I want to go back and do something else, I'll have to just go back into the whole thing again. Outliner options. So you can't just select a number of options at one go. You have to keep going back and forth. But use your View, Outliner options to select what elements you like to have when you're looking at the overall progress of your work. So I like to see the total progress bar, my total word count to date, and the target word count. And again, you can drag these windows to whatever size you want, just to make it look the way you would like it to look. So once you're finished checking where you're at with your word count and your progress and so on, go back to text here, and it's View, Scrivenings, and that pane will revert back to the text that you were working on. And you can either look at the text for the entire book, for just part 1 of the book, or for just the chapter that you're working in. So in essence, to recap, to get the 3-pane window layout that I like to use, you're using the Window tab and Layouts for that, and then 3-pane corkboard option. To colour code your chapters, you're right-clicking, using Label and selecting the colour that you want. To view your index cards however you want to, it's View and your corkboard options, and you've got whatever number of options that you want there that you can select. Formatting your actual document, you're using the Format tab, and that'll be familiar to anybody that uses a Word document, for instance. And to have a look at the progress of your work overall, it's View, Outline, and View, Scrivenings. Let's go back to that. That's not worked. Where's that not worked? View, Scrivenings, to get back to your document. And the key, really, one of the things I found, the reason why Scrivener was quite difficult was the key to using it easily is to get used to the hierarchy and using the hierarchy properly. So anything that you want to happen to the overall document, you're using the top level, always work in here. If you're in here, that's going to give you access to the chapters or the text files that are within a folder. But if you're within just one folder at a time, go straight into it. But what you can't do is go from there straight to, for instance, chapter 5, like that. You have to first of all go to the part that it's in, and then, so always use your hierarchy to work your way through it, and that'll be a bit easier. And again, I'll just show you the one that I've got on the go just now, which is this one. I'll show you how I set them up. So there I've got my part 1, part 2, part 3 and 4, and that's my trash there, my research file with things in it, some colour coding, and I don't call my chapters chapter 1, chapter 2 and so on while I'm working on it, because if I want to swap them around, it saves me the bother of renaming the chapters. What I tend to name them is the day of the week and the key character, whose point of view that it's from. So I've got my Wednesdays, my Thursdays, my Fridays, and whose point of view that it's from. That just helps me to check the balance of the book overall. So that's how to customise your screen and get it looking something a bit more useful